You ready?
There is a connection between the paranormal, UFOs, and the myths of ancient history. The clues are scattered across the landscape from a forbidden past, maybe even in your own backyard. There is a connection between the true nature of our reality, consciousness, and the unexplained. I'm Carl the Crusher. Let's explore the unknown. And there was several witnesses that actually saw this thing reportedly this morning get shot down over the ranch or disappear or something happen. That is the room right there. And the room right next to it is the miner's room, or we've also nicknamed it the dream catcher, because the shaman entity tends to go back and forth between the two.
I couldn't really tell because he was like half sticking through the wall.
He was like
Facing
through the walls.
Yeah, so you know like Han Solo in the Star Wars movie when he's trapped in like the stone and stuff? He kind of looked like that, except half of his upper body was sticking out of the wall.
I don't know how to play anything. Did you hear that? I started playing around on the piano and like knocking on the bar and the stairs, and now I come down here and I hear what sounds like something knock on the wall in a different part of the building. We have recently captured video evidence in the Saloon at Mount Wilson Ranch. The security camera footage appears to have captured what several people describe as an orb, but it could also just be a dust particle that only appears oddly on the security camera footage. So one of the ways that we can analyze this footage is using a specifically developed software that reveals the quantum spectrums of data that is usually hidden within the pixels and frame rates of the video. So using computer software to peel back and reveal otherwise unseen spectrums and dimensions of reality that usually remain in our blind spots. Similar to using night vision or thermal imaging, ultrasound, or other devices to peer into these unseen dimensions of reality, this quantum view allows us to see a full spectrum of the electromagnetic field and expose all of the things that seem to hide there. This is just a small segment of a much bigger project that involves comparing multiple spectrums of scientific data, along with being inclusive to the fundamental advice of Native American research groups that are assisting us in everything that we do, and knowing even how to approach the phenomenon. Here's a note from Stephen Leah, who is running this proprietary software. Quote, "To whom it may concern, the proprietary quantum imaging derived discrete signal data sets appear to resolve a possible theorized quantum field or membrane of sorts, or a close derivative thereof. It is noted and indicated within this inferred field to contain some type of plasmatic flow of energy transfer via passageways or channels, as it were, contained within the grid lattice resolved. A segmented run looped in a repeated back and forth rock mode of the first 20 frames of 85 plainly show the orb as approaching and encountering resistance to this field, as it is plainly seen to move the inferred membrane outward, much like an elastic sheet would move from the confined kinetic force. Also noted are what appears to be individual packets of energy in some type of projected hologram or sorts at different scales, indicative of a mimicry thereof pertaining to maxillofacial anatomy. Said mimicry would seem to imply some sort of sentient involvement, care, custody, and control. Signed, Stephen Leah." All of the links for this research and data in order to do your own study about these topics are available in the description below. Well, it is the next morning. Last night, as you guys saw, I was going all over the place in this building, down the diner, in the saloon, and the experience was basically anytime I would go to one part of the building, I would hear like a knock on the wall or a thud or something like that in a different part of the building or on the other side of the wall. And so like I would come in here and there would be nobody here. So I would look around here in this room, nothing. Come over here, play the piano and stuff, try to see if anything would happen. And then I would hear something go like on the wall down in the saloon. But what's interesting is that I came back over this morning and that door going into the lounge and the fireplace room was closed. But then I come in and this door is wide open going into the saloon. And then I'm like, I remember closing that door, shutting the building down for the night and going to bed last night. I mean, after I went out and I did look for UFOs, I walked out in the parking lot, I went out around by the settler's cabin, looked up in the sky until I was like shivering so bad I couldn't hardly stand it. I didn't even see a satellite. I saw one airplane fly over, nothing. There was no movement in the sky. It was just crystal clear and super cold. So I came back in, closed everything down, got all my stuff up and went to bed, and there was like nothing else that happened. But I come back in here, these doors are both left wide open. And I remember when I went to bed last night, after I was done filming, I closed them all up. So I closed that one down. I remember closing this door, and it's wide open this morning. And I remember closing this door when I left. And for some reason, it's wide open. So this one's open. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 doors in the building when I come back over this morning, left wide open. And I remember closing them when I went to bed last night. We are back up at the upper pond at the top of the lower meadow. So there's a lower meadow and an upper meadow. This is Mount Wilson, right behind me right here. And Luke and Kyle are gonna pop off here and go down. They've built a sled jump that they've been going off of. But then we're gonna try and hike up and see the shaman cabin where the original archaeologist team encountered the ghosts of the shaman for the first time. And Donna Bardeen, the original caretaker of the property, started running into extraterrestrial entities and Native American apparitions all over the place, as well as finding artifacts all over this area here. So I'm gonna try and hike all the way up to the upper meadow and around to lava vent tubes, maybe even try to make it all the way up to the cave. But this snow is pretty deep and brutal and slushy, so I'm not sure how far we're gonna make it. We'll find out. You can barely see it. Yeah, you're right, but I can see it down there for sure. There's a jump right at the trail. We'll see him catch some air. Oh, you missed? No. Yo! That was awesome.
I hit that hard.
You did. It looks like it froze a little bit overnight.
Yeah.
Kyle's gonna start off the day.
Yeah.
He missed. That's funny. Okay, so my objective today is to hike up to the shaman house, and then I'm gonna go across the valley, hike along this entire upper ridge line, do an entire circumference of Mount Wilson Ranch, and then come back down through all these high points back down to the lower meadow. One of the big reasons why we rushed up here so quick was because Jeff and some of the locals heard and saw an F-18 or an F-22 or something actually shoot an orb or a ball, a sphere or cylinder that was white in the sky. Something got shot down in the air over here. Either that or it was a misunderstanding. So I'm gonna try and hike all the way around here and see if I can find any debris or anything like that laying around. I'm even gonna use thermal imaging, see if I can find any kind of anomalies. But clear skies, we're gonna keep our eyes peeled. Maybe we'll see something. Pretty rugged hiking through the snow. Not very fun. It's like hard on the surface and then your foot falls in into the soft snow underneath. It's exhausting and we haven't even made it very far. This is it, guys. What's left of it. So stop right there where you guys are standing. That's basically where the shaman was when the archaeologist walked out the front door in the morning and there was an apparition standing right where you guys are. And then yeah, as he took a few steps that way, he just vanished. That's the way the story goes.
There's like no trees here. That's weird.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's an interesting story. We still need to try and figure out and track down exactly who these archaeologists were and if they're even still alive or not. But yeah, we have photos of this building when it was still constructed, but this is also where Donna Bardeen lived as well.
So what happened to this building?
We don't actually know why it was torn down, if Bigelow tore it down or what. I could ask Jeff, I don't actually know. But this was the house that Donna lived in too. So while she was here, she had visitations from 3 extraterrestrials. So she said that a tall one and 2 short ones. And she also saw the ghost of the shaman several times right here in this house. So interesting. Really makes you wonder, like if them coming up here, digging all the caves, removing artifacts, doing a bunch of stuff for that MX missile program, if disturbing everything is what triggered the paranormal activity, just like at Skinwalker Ranch. Now we're wondering what's inside this building up here. Like if this was the original archaeologist's house. We're not actually sure what was in here, if there is anything.
They demoed the other one. I wonder why.
Oh, there is a doorknob on it.
There is a doorknob?
It's up there.
Padlock. We are going there.
What's in there? Here, let me
It's
film
a
it.
bathroom.
Let me film with the camera.
I'm pretty sure that's the bathroom.
And it looks like there's a float tank. So this is part of like a pump house and stuff. But yeah, maybe they were. I don't know what they were using it for. That's weird.
Should I get in there?
Yeah, I don't care. Watch your footing and stuff.
Yeah. I ain't go too far.
There's just like a drinking fountain and a pressure tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a pump house or something. I'm officially on my own hiking solo. My strategy is to kind of, I'd rather stay in the rocks and the mud than try to trudge through snow drifts. So we'll see how far I can navigate before I run out of real estate and have to turn around. But the idea is I'm going to high points and then scanning the valley for any kind of debris, any wreckage, anything that looks like a balloon or UFO crash site. I don't even know. We didn't have any eyewitnesses say they saw anything even fall out of the sky necessarily, so I'm not sure how much success we're gonna have, but we're gonna give it a shot. So all right, I'm already getting closer to the upper meadow just up ahead here, so we'll get there, get some lookout points, scan around the valley over Mount Wilson Ranch, see if we see anything. I can hear what sounds like heavy equipment, like big tractors or trucks, diesel engines working, but I can't tell where it's coming from. It like the way the echo resonates around. I'm in the upper meadow right now. It could be coming from over there. It could be coming from over there. It could be coming from behind me. On Mount Wilson Ranch, there's the lower meadow where Craw Creek goes through right in front of the settler's cabin down behind the saloon. And then uphill, up here further up the mountain, you've got the upper meadow, which is where I'm sitting right in front of it right now on a tree stump. And there's actually a dam across Craw Creek right there, and then this upper meadow. But there's a lot of interesting stuff up here. There's some lava vent tubes further up the mountain and a lot of ancient artifacts around. If this is the area where the thing got shot down, it is kind of interesting that there's like heavy equipment way up here. I don't know if it's somebody just trying to plow out their road to get in somewhere or what, but I think what I need to do is go up and across over to a high point, maybe up over there, and see if I can get a better look. Tons of animal tracks going across the meadow. I'm gonna go up here, over there, get to the high point, and we'll look around. Oh, it's so muddy and sloppy. Okay, here we are. This is on top of the ridge of the upper meadow here, all down below me. Looking for the UFO wreckage. Look at this, how beautiful this shot is up here. Mount Wilson is right up there behind me. This is the upper lake or pond. You can even see an old paddle boat right there that they used to use. How crazy, right? So, all right, I'm gonna walk up, get to that high point over there, scan around and see if we can see anything. Maybe where this engine noise is coming from. Oh, it's a little bit grueling. Up to my knees here, right? Look at that. So you take one step and you're good, and then the next one you sink in like that all the way, but it's pretty grueling, but we'll make it. Where's my snowshoes when I need them, right? I'm up to my knees hiking around up here, guys. I'm gonna try to get to one good lookout, see if I could spot anything, but I need to get my drone fixed. I gotta figure some other stuff out. If I had snowshoes, I could cover a lot more ground. Let's get to the top of this point, see what we can spot. But I don't know how far I'm gonna be able to go today. I'm already exhausted. You know, I'd rather not like accidentally fall down and disappear in some kind of a drift covered sinkhole in between the rocks. Nobody can find me. I'm up here by myself. So, you know, you gotta be smart. You never know how deep it is in a hole. It might look smooth and then you fall between the cracks and it actually goes 10 or 15 feet down and you're stuck. All the way up to this lookout point we got up here. We are at the top of the upper meadow, and I just sat down to take a rest, catch my breath, and there's something very unusual on the rocks right here that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Just to show you, I mean, I sat down on the rocks right here, put my backpack down right there, and then I put my hand down, and I noticed that I set my hand on like this broken up rock that looks like chert or so. I don't know what this is. This is some kind of an agate. I thought it was like dried tree sap, but it's actually rock, and it looks like it's been smacked down right here, like to break it apart. And then I found more right here. See, I almost set my hand right on top of this, and I felt this piece and noticed all of this flaking, this rock broken apart like it just happened here. And then look, you crawl over here, and here is like the piece of rock that it came off of right here. See? Like, this is signs of tool making, but it looks so new. Look, there's more little pieces right there, and there's a piece right there. How is it? What is this doing here? All the way up here on the rocks at the top of the upper meadow. Okay, I actually just realized what this came from and what this is from. I can't actually talk about it right now, but stay tuned. We were up here a few weeks ago with a whole other crew doing some other stuff. So let's just say that this basically landed here off of a trajectory that we probably sent it on about a month ago, and this is just where it landed. I just can't believe that I found a chunk of this after what we did. So stay tuned if you want to find out later where this came from and how it's like, seems like it fell out of the sky. It's a pretty cool story. So I'm gonna actually keep this rock, remember this, and remind me in June, and I'll tell you exactly where this came from. I'm not sure how much farther up the mountain I can make it without snowshoes or some other way, you know, cross-country skis. I need to get my drone fixed, because then we could fly a grid over this area and actually see if we find anything. The best that I can do right now on short notice is just to drive up here as fast as I could get up here and try to scan the valley, see if I can see anything. But if it was a white object that got shot down or disappeared, I don't know, the odds of us being able to find anything up here are pretty slim. But you never know. All of those stories of people finding UFO debris or strange materials like that, they start like this, just people on horseback or hiking, and they come over the ridge, and then all of a sudden there's like the Army or the Air Force or somebody trying to clear out wreckage, and they happen to cross it, or even they get there before the military arrives. So I'm not seeing anything like that, and it seems like the sounds of the tractor, the heavy equipment, is over there, which is probably somebody's property. So what I'm going to do, make my way down the ridge all the way back over here across the meadow, and then see if I can pop up over there and see what that equipment is. After talking with the locals, I haven't sourced any kind of video footage, any photography. No other witnesses have come forward to say that they saw anything. So it might just end up being a dead end that doesn't go anywhere, that we don't conclude anything off of. But it's always worth, when you hear reports like that, especially with the background of everything that's gone on up here, it's worth coming up and checking and seeing, since I have access to be able to come and do it. So I think tonight we're gonna do a little bit more sky watching, see if we can see anything. But let's make our way back down, see if we can figure out what this heavy equipment is over there. This is back at Craw Creek. So we have measured and recorded a lot of interesting anomalies over the upper meadow. Jeff has laid out here and felt very weird vibrational energy. He sat over here in the trees and heard sound waves coming out of the ground and strange stuff. So if there is any kind of weird gravity anomalies or dimensional stuff that has to do with the geology, it could be coming right off of Mount Wilson, coming right down here, connecting with Craw Creek and creating that frequential geological anomaly underground right here. So it's going to be really interesting this spring when all this snow melts and that frequency gets amplified. One of these theories that is being pursued by the team up at Skinwalker Ranch and other colleagues of mine like James Keenan and stuff, we've been coming to places like this and actually trying to investigate to see if it is something to do with the geology. Maybe the water flowing down, like what if this spring all this snow melts, it goes down into the aquifer, and then all of that water flowing through the underground chambers of the granite or quartz and everything running through this mountain all the way down underneath the saloon and the settler's cabin could be vibrating and creating a strange frequency. Maybe it is that Schumann frequency or the theta waves that we're picking up on the infrasound that affects human consciousness, that maybe opens up these perceptions of alternate dimensions and all kinds of stuff. But could it be as simple as something as the vibration of the earth because of water flowing through it? One of the theories is that the Great Pyramids in Egypt and all over the place, even down in South America and Mexico, it could have water chambers that flowed underneath the ground that created that vibration or that harmony that sent a resonance or a type of radiation, a frequency up through the earth that when you walk through it or live there for a while, maybe it affects you. That could be why ancient indigenous people were drawn to these locations for thousands of years. Maybe why Bigelow and the psychic spy teams out of Stanford were up here. Maybe they were trying to tap into that energy. But it's certainly interesting to think that maybe some of it could boil down to the water flowing right down Craw Creek, or maybe something buried under the upper meadow here, maybe down below, or maybe it's a structure so big it covers the whole area. Who knows? There's a lot of work still to do. Just looks like a local working on snow removal. Looks like he's trying to clear out the road. Doesn't look like any kind of military operation trying to recover crashed UFO debris. So I think we're going to leave him alone. So I should have just filmed all that, but Luke and I just had a conversation. He was sitting right here. He went to go check the coffee maker because none of it's adding up. This whole day was weird. So last night I came in the building. I closed the whole thing down after the investigation. I shut all the doors and went through. The whole building was closed down, and then I was the first one in here. But then all the interior doors were wide open, and there's like this much coffee in the bottom of the coffee pot. And what's weird is that I lifted the lid and the grounds were steaming. So there was like fresh water, hot water poured over the coffee grounds, and steam came off of the grounds. So it doesn't make any sense. Like, who made the coffee? Because Nick Nack didn't come in the building. Luke and Kyle didn't. Kyle doesn't even know how to make coffee. Luke didn't make coffee. There's no way that having the coffee pot on overnight, the timer would have just shut off on its own. It doesn't make any sense. Like, who opened all the doors? So then I texted all of this to Jeff, the property owner. And what he says to me, he goes, oh yeah, the coffee thing. And here's what's weird is that when I was walking in through the kitchen this morning, when I noticed all of this and that the doors were open and started questioning it, I had this really weird, strong smell of like bad tobacco. And that's one of Jeff's things, is his dad lived and passed away living here down in the lower hotel and in the Meadowview hotel room down there. And so the whole thing is they find packs of his cigarettes around here, even though he passed away several years ago. They'll go down there to clean the rooms, and there will be like a package of cigarettes there, or someone will smell like tobacco smoke. And Jeff is like, oh yeah, the coffee thing. Like, it's normal to come in and find like coffee made, even though it doesn't make any sense. So I think it's like It's like something out of The Shining in that scene when he walks up the hall and then goes through the doorway, and there's like this whole banquet in the other room, but it's all in another dimension. It's weird, dude. Something weird's going on. This is that interesting rock that I found on my hike today. I wish I could tell you more about exactly why this is significant and where this came from. I just can't right now, but Luke had a good idea to actually test it. It does have some weird quartz crystals, some clear see-through crystals all embedded in this piece of agate. Really interesting. But he's looking at it through different settings. Here, kind of show the screen so I can see over shoulder. Yeah, we're trying to see if it has any kind of weird thermal readings. That looks pretty normal.
Sure, I'm gonna check the EMF and
yeah, let's see if it has any radiation, and then I need to get the black light and see. And then where this big fireplace is right here is actually this rock that I carried back from the exact same place. So it's interesting that I found that little stone way up on the hill, and then we've got this one here that's totally got a big lip of crystal. Hey, where's that flashlight, Luke? I kind of want to show.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see, where did we set that? See this? It's kind of hard to tell. But look at all the quartz in this one right here. And later when you guys realize where these rocks are coming from is very interesting. Nothing?
I don't think anything.
I also have a metal detector in there.
That'd be cool.
Like a little metal detector wand, we could try that. Nothing on that though?
Nothing on here.
Yeah, so this rock and this big one with all the crystals on it actually came out of the same hole.
Okay, here, I'll take my watch off. Make sure it doesn't interfere. Any mysterious metals?
Nothing.
Nothing in here.
Check this one.
Okay. See, there's metal surrounding it, so
Oh,
it's this.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's the pots and stuff, yeah, and there's nothing in
It
there.
is cool though. It's all like
I know, right?
Stuff. It's weird.
It's interesting. It makes you wonder what's further underground, that's for sure. I'm just sitting here drinking coffee. I can hear somebody walking around in the saloon. Do you hear that? It's up there again. Hello? That was like a loud thump. There's nobody in here. What the heck? This place is so weird. I could have sworn somebody was walking around down here. Huh. That's like what I was doing all night last night. Chasing knocks and thumps around this whole place and not finding anything. And then all of a sudden, all the doors are open. Doors are opening and closing. Okay, so I'm gonna come and close these doors. And we're gonna see, I've even got some door jam alarms that we can wedge up so that if the doors open, it will set alarms off. So maybe tonight we gotta set those up.